Hi everyone, so today we are going to be doing the first challenge of the Android application exploitation series of CyberHackathon.pk. These were the semi-finals, right? So you might also see exploitation specifically to Android videos on my channel, and that was the initial round. So these are semi-finals. So looking at the description of the challenge, overrider, we need 3 flags and worth 200 points. The description says try to find the flags by analyzing the file and exploiting the vulnerabilities of the application. So it has some logical flaws. It says commonly found on OS top 10 lists. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I'm going to look at the source of the application. Let's take a look at what we have here. As always, we'll dive into the main activity. And I'm just going to ignore the instructions which we don't need and just work with what we need. So this probably these are the elements of the UI of the application. Counter is 0, and it's a if counter is equal to 0, which I don't see being updated, so it'll definitely be 0. So the application is going to create 2 files, write and write1.txt, and it is going to write this and that. And if the file doesn't exist, it is going to live text or set text show the value of the flag, maybe encrypted in the application UI. Going forward, it is checking if we have the write.txt file, and then it is checking if we have the write1.txt file. And if it exists, the application is going to exit. And if it doesn't exist, only write1. So actually this condition isn't really being checked, right? So only this thing is being checked. So it says that if this exists, exit, right? So it is just the application is going to exit. If it doesn't, it is going to call this activity, that is happy activity, right? And coming to happy activity, which is this one. Yeah. Let's see what we have here. So file1 write.txt, and it says file1 exists. Closing the app is sin. It's going to write this to this file. Going forward, if file1 exists, it is going to exit again. Clear flag is equal to build config.flavor, clear flag this.des decrypt. Okay, so we have a decryption function in here, which is probably going to decrypt some strings for us, I guess. And okay, so clear flag build config.flavor, that is empty. Okay, then happy activity dot this dot des decrypt, and this is actually also empty. So you can see here that it is going to include this flag1 string, right, from the strings.xml file most probably, and then it is going to call all this on that, right? So what we have to do is basically just clone this source into our own Java file, and pass the string, find it and pass it to this function. And it is not passing it here. We can actually pass it as an argument, or we can just hard code it right here when we are creating the Java file. So I guess let's get started. Just first let's find the flag1 variable. So for that I'm going to decompile the application and get the Java source. Okay, it's done. I'm just going to do grep for flag1 and happy activity.java. So here is the first flag, right? So I'm just going to create a node of that. Let's also create decrypt decrypt.java. I think that is a good one. Maybe yes, yeah, that'll do. So I'm flags.txt, and this is the first one, which is flag1. Right. So just going to throw that there. Let's copy the source and also create first before that create a class, and that would be, what do we want to call it? Let's just call it AES, or maybe just call it whatever it is here. So it is happy activity. Let's just do that. I don't mind. And let's copy this as it is. So far so good, but I think it'll need these dependencies need to be satisfied, right? So for that I'm just going to copy all of this remove the Android libraries because they won't be loaded. Note this as well. And I think so far so good. We are going to create a main function and just add the stuff in here. I'm going to add static here as well, so I do not have to instantiate the class itself. I'll just directly call this function, and maybe I'll pass a argument here for maybe flag, right? And then we can just copy that and actually pass it here. And before doing that, I think we should actually add a string here to base64 decode the flag, right? And then it is going to decrypt it. So by default, it was using the Android's library base64 library to decode the string, right? But the Java's base64 decode call or execution is different. So let me just show you that. Do we have that in here? We don't. So we have to add that. Do I remember it? Base64 IO.base64. Okay, I don't. So let's just look it up. Base64 code. We can do that. Okay, so this is Java util base64. Okay, yeah. There we go. And I'm going to be base64 decoding this flag string right here, and that would be what type does it give to us? Dot decoder. Yeah. So I'm just going to copy that. Where is message being used? It is being used here, and I am going to declare it as message. And I'm going to include the flag in here, and I think we are good to go. I guess we are, right? So I don't see any red lines, so probably we are good to go. Now I'm going to call this function onto the string we have here, which is this, and just do that. So it is returning this. I am going to print this out, right? Dot out dot println, and put that in there. Also, you can see that it is throwing an exception, so we have to catch it. Either you can just replace this and add a try catch in this, or maybe you can do that in here. So that would be easy, I guess, to do in here. Why is there a semicolon? Extra semicolon? I'm not sure. And then finally, oh yeah, so we have to just do that catch. I think it was exception E something like that. Was it? Yeah, I think it was. So maybe just print something. AST. Does that work? Or maybe we can just go into the source and find some exception and just get, oh yeah, this one I'll do. So just add that in here, and yeah, we are good to go. Now let's try and call this file and see if it works. It does, right? There we go. We got the first flag. Now let's continue forward and see the other files. So we can see here that it is flag 2. There is a string, and it is fetching that. So we don't actually have to fetch that. It is just decrypting that over here. So we can probably call this the second flag, I guess. And let's take a look at write a poor, and we can see that there is another string in here. Looking at the logic here, I'm not sure what it's doing. It is maybe checking the field user pass, and then it is going to split that with colon, whatever input we pass, right? It is going to split that with this. So it is going to check if the username and the password is equal to admin, combined with a colon. So we don't really need to satisfy anything of those dependencies. All we have to do is just call this 3 times, copy these, right? So I don't have to open the window again and again. Just copy this one from there to here, and this third flag over here, right? So let's call this and see if it works. And there we go. So we got the first flag, the second flag, and the third flag. So we are all done with the challenge. So that was it. It was pretty simple. You just had to copy the function and implement custom base64 decoding, because we cannot use the Android libraries, and then just decrypt those strings and add an exception catching here, and that is it. So see you in the next one. Thank you.